the host of the This Is Rad podcast. He's a regular on the Nerdist podcast, and you thought I was joking. Give it up for a real king dork, everybody, Kyle Clark.
Hey guys. This is exciting. I got like fresh people. It was really a great moment because the whole room was getting real empty, and I was like, oh. Turns out 2 after Quincy Jones and we were done with comedy. I keep wishing it was darker so I could start just rubbing this light effect that's on this wall that I'm trying to see more than is there, but it is there. You can see it a little bit. If you're a high enough squint, it's way more interesting than me. Now, guys, have we all accepted that we're at Vice Magazine Summer Camp today? That's what this is. It's amazing. Brandy was talking about how it looks like it's the Foot Clan hideout from Ninja Turtles. The other alternative joke I had for it is it looks like that place that all the bad orphan kids went to the beginning of Free Willy. I'd forgotten that was a thing, and I was watching with a friend because sometimes you can't leave because you're too drunk to drive. And we're going to watch Free Willy. Like, I guess that's what I'm doing. At the beginning of the movie is just orphans eating a sheet cake, and I've never wanted my parents to be dead so bad. Because on that level of being fucked up, I was like, if my parents die, I get a sheet cake. Oh, God. I'm gonna be honest with you, this is really exciting, I'm really happy. Give it up for everybody here who's broke as shit. Our generation will just unite under having nothing, but we will do it looking way better than the people from the Great Depression.
Hell yeah!
Fuck you, that old sad mom from that photo in the history book. But I did recently buy a thing that's changed my life. I just bought one of those NASA foam like mattress toppers. Is anybody else living the greatest life you can live? Because I'm gonna be honest, I'm really excited to be here today, but I'm like 70% here and 30% of me is still waiting to go back and fall back asleep. So I'm just saying, I could continue these jokes, we could have the rest of the show, or you guys could meet me after my set, and we could just drive back to the valley and just in my air-conditioned place have a snuggle party. So, I mean, techno music and being young is fun, but so is watching the Food Network and not being sweaty. Has anybody been to the puppy thing yet? I haven't found it. Is it everything I want it to be?
Yes!
Oh God, I fucking love dogs. Like, I feel like we're in this stage where we're like, cats are great. I'm like, I get it, you didn't have a dad, you need approval. But dogs are the fucking best. Like, I love my dog. I love puppies, they're great. But I love an old dog. Like, you know, like just a dog that's like almost dead. Like, I dated a girl once who had like 3 dogs, and 2 were like the 2 most beautiful, young, vibrant dogs, and 1 was like a mummy that looked like a dog. And like, I would go over there and like, I was nice to this dog, but like her friends who like knew her for longer, like had no problem just showing open disdain for this old dog. And like, they'd be petting the 2 good dogs, and the 3rd dog would come over, and one girl would just go, ew, and push it away. And they were on, like, we were on like a hardwood floor, so the dog has no choice, so it's just actively being pushed. And she pushed it next to me, like the 2 shitty things this girl didn't like in the apartment. So I'm like, all right, old dog, we're friends. And I love old dogs, because I feel like there's something we can all learn from them, and it's this. This is, like when you see an old dog, they look all wise, they got that white face, they're looking at you, and every old dog is still just stoked to be alive. And the other cool thing about old dogs, they're stoked to be alive, and here's something we're not all talking about. Every old dog is just covered in tumors. And like, that's fine. It's super sad, because like, death is coming for us all. But on the other hand, like, if we were covered in the number of tumors that are on an old dog, we would not be as happy to have KFC in the house as an old dog is. Like, if somebody's like, I got a bucket of chicken, we're like, I still have tumors. But I was like, fuck yeah, chicken! And that's the greatest thing. Any old dog is amazing because they know which part of them doesn't have tumors and will present that to you. They're like, there's still a good dog here. So like, when we're petting those old, like, new dogs, like, let's appreciate, go this week and pet an old dog. Because they're great, yeah. I will just like go straight for sentimentality. I am not a cool man. I made peace with that. Walking up, I was like, oh, now I know I forgot to leave what I left in the car, my youth. Just walking with people with fun hats I didn't know you could wear as hats. Just t-shirts for beers I didn't know were beers. It's a fucking day. I just want to settle into like cool uncle who smokes pot. Like if I could just be that, that is where I can break even and just be like a cool Steve Buscemi type. My brother on the flip side is way fucking cooler than me. He is in a touring hardcore band that he plays drums for. You're right. Some girl there was like, wow, he is cooler. But that's okay. Like even today I was like, hey, I'm doing a music festival. That's pretty cool. He's like, yeah, I'm in a video for Man Man today. I was like, fuck you. Why is that happening? So because like he and I live together, because he tours, we end up with, do we have anybody who tours in bands in this room? I can't imagine we don't. Yeah, we got a couple. Somebody's girlfriend is outing him. He's like, no, don't tell them about my dream. When you have shitty people who tour, you end up with people from other bands who like just sleep on your couch like scumbags. Like, so my Monday morning is I just walk out and there's just a shitty hardcore band sleeping on my couch and it just changes every week. And I'm like dressed for work looking like a real square. And I just get to see passed out dudes with like giant ears, just like, And I used to be real intimidated. There was a point where a band I genuinely loved was staying on our couch, and I was like, oh no, like I'm gonna look so lame. But I had the greatest moment ever where the world leveled. Because sometimes you realize that things are only cool as long as you look at them from the right point of view. Like a guy who's in a cool hardcore band yelling and screaming in all black and skinny jeans, that's a cool man. He's less cool when he's in your den and he has just burned his mouth on a Hot Pocket. When he is in Super Mario Brothers pajama pants doing the ow, my mouth is full of lava dance. You realize that being cool is a very liquid concept. I've been thinking a bunch about like things I used to think are cool and like that aren't cool anymore. Like I am the generation of boys who were raised on Weezer to think that the only way I can have a personality is by having a girlfriend. Because there was a glasses man who told other glasses men that that's how you live. You write enough songs, you find a girlfriend, and you treat her like the object you've turned her into. And eventually you grow up and life's great and you're in love. But in the meantime, you're just like, oh, I'm a monster who's needy. But like, I remember when I was in middle school, there was a girl I had a huge crush on. I was so jealous. She was in a bunch of my classes. I was like, oh man, she's so cool. And I was so jealous because she had a boyfriend, and her boyfriend was 20. And at the time, I remember in 7th grade thinking, oh man, I can't wait till I'm 20. Then I can date any middle school girl I want. And then I turned 20, and I was like, oh my, that girl's being molested. Just the context really changes that whole story. Yucky you. Which is great when you're 20, you're like, oh, not only was that a terrible story, but also I'm not a child molester. I'll leave you guys with this. This is the other story of realizing that cool things change. The other person who I thought was the coolest person when I was in high school was this dude. He was super smooth. Everybody liked him. Like the punks liked him, the jocks liked him. He was just a fucking cool guy. He was the most confident person I've ever seen. He could talk to anybody, he could get out of anything. And I know he's the most confident person I've ever seen because this guy had a VHS tape of him floating around school of him fucking a cantaloupe. I like that part of the room just went, whoa. It's a real great Doppler effect moment. As like the full painting in her head went from like sketch to full color of a 15-year-old boy balls deep in the rindiest melon. Because what you guys need to understand is that I went to high school in a world before YouTube. So like you couldn't just see somebody fucking a cantaloupe because you're bored on your phone. You had to go find the kid who was super into Faces of Death. And be like, hey, you got any fucked up VHS tapes? He's like, of course I do. I was like, you know that guy from our geometry class? I'm like, yeah. He's like, do you? So I take it home, put it in the VCR, and there he is, 15 years old, just looking down the barrel of the camera, breaking the fourth wall. Just a laugh I'll hear forever in my heart. And just the, like, not even the smooth alabaster skin of a honeydew, just the rough trade action of a cantaloupe. And my favorite thing is that guy just could walk around, like walk up to a girl, look, I know there's a VHS tape of me fucking a cantaloupe, but we should still date. And it worked! No one in this room has that level of confidence. Like, you become president like that. I think that's how the Illuminati, like, induct you in. Like, Bernie Sanders one day will have to fuck a cantaloupe. But he'll talk about it, because he's a man of the people. But my favorite thing, though, is that, like, I've been telling this joke for a while, and at some point I was like, oh, we live in an age of Facebook. I should make sure that guy's not dead. And it turns out, guys, he's not. has a daughter. Like, that's the gift from the universe that you get sometimes when you're just like, I should put a minimal amount of effort, and then you find out Cantaloupe Fucker guy has a daughter. And that's the best thing in the world. I'm obsessed with it because that girl's in a very interesting situation in life. Because she one day when she's in high school gets to throw the fucking best party ever. Like a party where she just destroys her family's house. She can just walk through and be like, oh, I see you with the drapes on fire, good. Oh, cocaine, yes, do it everywhere. Just drift it into things. Oh, yes, you've thrown all our photo albums into the pool, very good. Because when her dad gets home and reads the Riot Act, she's like, bah! And she can just sit there and go, yes, grounded forever. Yes, I can see everything then. Father, when you're done yelling, could you join me in the den? And he's a cool guy, so they walk to that den. She goes, Father, this is a VCR. I feel like you haven't seen one of these in a long time. I have a videotape I'd like to show you. She puts that bad boy in, and there's her dad, 15 years old, fucking that cantaloupe, looking down the barrel of the camera. And she can look at it and go, now to begin with, I can't help but notice that that's not mom. So unless you want her to know about your old high school girlfriend, I think you're going to help me clean up the house, and we're not going to talk about this again. Guys, thank you so much, bro.